Hello, my name is Ryan Peel, and this was my team's submission for the 2023 Game Makers Toolkit Game Jam. With the theming of roles reversed, our game was titled The Target. So if we hop right into it, the first thing that we'll notice is this mini-map and a quick overview of our actual map. The camera will transition, and we will notice that the camera takes over. I am not inputting anything. And you can see on the mini-map as I turn my player, their little icon will turn. As I hit forward, they'll turn in that direction. The gameplay loop comes in the idea that we are playing a stealth game through the eyes of the guards you are trying to eliminate. So as you saw there, I eliminated a guard. Camera will transition up and over to the next guard. I can press E to go to the next guard in the guard index, which will give me an overview of the map, which way I'm facing, and give me a little moment to look at where I am. So if I ever get lost, I can hit E again, and I will go up. I'll see, okay, I'm on the other side of the map. Let's go back. And okay, so I'm by those circles over there on the minimap. The player is controlled in tank controls. If you ever get behind one of the guards, they will die. Remove themselves from the array. Let's see if I can get myself caught here. Yeah, I should be able to. If I stand right here for a second, the detection meter will go up. It'll say I have been caught, and I am able to select whether or not I'd like to go to a new mission or quit to the main menu. If I select new mission, you'll notice that the map is now different than the last map that I played. And that is about it for the actual gameplay. Guards patrol randomly, and you are simply supposed to go around and kill them. If you kill all the guards, you'll get a you win screen, similar to the you've been caught. So let's quit out, let's exit, and head into the actual code. If we want to start anywhere, it should be inside of the level blueprint. Inside of the level blueprint, we make sure we have a reference to our player, get the camera inside of the level. The camera inside of the level is its own actor, so that we know where to transition to. We set that as our current viewpoint, so that we start the game looking at it. And then we load the 4 levels inside of the game. If we look at in editor what the map looks like, it's 4 separate quadrants. Me and the team made 12 different possible levels, all with the same dimensions, a couple of differences inside of their actual like obstacles and everything, as well as set up guards and patrol points inside of those levels. And then we give a quick delay to make sure the guards understand what is happening inside of their own index and patrol properly. And after another quick delay, we transition into the first guard's viewpoint. That calls this event right here the next guard index event. We make sure we're not killing any guards unwantedly, so killing guards that we are not currently looking through the viewport of. And then whenever next guard index is called, we change what our current index in the array is. We set a variable to tell us that we are in transition. Do that view target change, which is that move upward, and then we move back down, and set that guard that we're moving into the viewport of as our current guard. And then we unset the transition and going down variables once we are finished. This functionality here is for when we kill the guard we are on, we play next guard index, unless the length of the array has been completely depleted, in which case we give ourselves a win screen. This down here, previous guard index, is the exact same functionality. It is run on a different input, simply just to go backwards in the index. Like I showed you, if I kind of got myself lost, I flew myself across the map and needed to come back to where I was so that I have a better grasp of which guard I needed to go to kill. That is it for the level blueprint. The next thing we should look at is the actual guard. The guard runs its own behavior tree set up by Matthew. It runs a tick event to get the distance from the player, and if that is true, we will say that the player is currently close. And if that is the current guard we are currently close to, we will set the scale of the cone, the sight cone on the guard to a much larger scale. That way we're not overlapping with that all the time. And if the guard has line of sight and we are overlapping with that cone, we can play the detect function on the player. I will look at that in a little bit. Overlapping, just make sure we're in the current guard, that current guard isn't dead, and it is the player currently overlapping with the cone, and just setting a variable. Same thing with end overlap here. The only other bit of functionality I worked on was this death box. You will also see there is a bit of a collision box behind each of the guards that they take with them. If it is the player that overlaps with them, we tell them that the current guard is dead. We say that you're not our current guard anymore. Play a sound, a timeline for them to fall over, and then call next guard index back in the level blueprint. Coming back up here on the detect function is one of the only things that the player is capable of doing aside from its forward movement and turning movement. We implemented tank controls. It was the easiest to control when you are not currently viewing your player at all times. Least confusing and orientating. However, the player has two functions for detection, setting up that little exclamation point above their head as they're in it. As it increases, the progress bar increases, filling that exclamation point up with a red color. And if it ever finishes, we just kind of make sure we say, hey, if progress is completely full, we'll put on the cop widget, remove the normal HUD from the player, and play that you lose screen that I showcased. And that is it for the functionality. The only other thing that I worked on was the player's if I can find it. Animations. The sneak walk of the player character that you see was something that I worked on. I just migrated it from Mixamo, retargeted the bone structure of the Mixamo mannequin so that the Unreal mannequin can follow that sneak walk animation. Thank you so much for listening in. And that was all of the work that I did for the Game Maker's Toolkit 2023 Game Jam as a gameplay designer. Thank you.